Welcome to Operation Management News. I'm your host, Dr. Strange. Today on the show, we'll be talking about three capacity expansion strategies. These are the expansionist strategy, the wait and see strategy, and the follow the leader strategy. To help break this down, we are joined by Barry Chen. So Barry, please explain and illustrate to the viewers at home what these strategies are.
Yeah, I can say that expansionist strategy is help enterprise to achieve faster growth, compete for a higher profit, and take advantage of economics of scale on account of demand and time. In more detail, this is involve focusing resource allocation and operational efficiency on one or a select set of business unit or core business function, which makes planned unused capacity turn into capacity demand. So Barry, I heard you have been working in Amazon. So does it make any strategy sense for Amazon? Absolutely, because Amazon is expanding from an online bookstore to an online retail complex, successfully defeating many rivals in the process. So on the basis, improve the quality of service and constantly expand the achievement. Among them, signing up well-known writer to exclusively publish their books, purchasing Zippo and diapers among the business. In the distribution of goods, Amazon is gradually reducing its delivery cycle and offering customer Amazon Prime that arrive within 2 days. Oh, that is a ratio goal. If something happen when risks is expanding too far. This is often the case because it takes time to buffer. So wait and see strategy is implemented when a business doesn't have enough capacity to respond to unexpectedly high demand. When expansion lags behind demand caused in a smaller and more frequent expansion, short-term planned deployment is the best way to deal with gaps. So Walmart is the classic example of a company that first failed to expand in China because the balance between a global strategy and the local market. Therefore, Walmart implemented the wait and see strategy, wait for the further maturity of the Chinese market in time, and promote the implication of relevant policy for foreign retail industry, and plan monopolize the Chinese retail market, and that too limits opening policy. All right. So what kind of business do you think is most successful? I think it should have the feature of following the crowd, meaning that what is the demand of contemporary market to copy the model. It's so-called the follow leader strategy. More closely, the company chooses to follow the market leader rather than challenge its decision and action. The essentially passive follow the leader strategy is also known as operating system copycat strategy. So it is interesting. It's to minimize the risk of retaliation while more frequent increment, but not lagging behind demand. If you take yourself as an example, when you go to a company to learn for adding value, the company provides resource and leaders, and you use this strategy to maximize the value added requirement demand because the leaders have a lot of talent and vision that you don't have, and you learn and apply it to yourself. So this is important policy of follow leader strategy.
Thanks for that, Barry. We will now cross over live to Mr. Worldwide, who is in Hawaii at the moment. So, Mr. Worldwide, what are the implications for manufacturing and service operations based on these strategies?
So the implications for the expansionist strategy on the manufacturing and service operations with this is an overall increase to the entire manufacturing process and the services capacity and operations. For example, having more efficient and more productive machines at each stage or an increase in staff required. This allows for a greater number of products to be produced and increase in the services available any time. The services that allows the possibility of a broader location, which ultimately leads to the possibility for more demand. This can lead to economies of scale and a chance to increase a business's market share. However, the expansionist strategy also comes with an immense price tag because of the great increase in size all at once, and it can lead to an overproduction of products and excess capacity, which all costs money. For services, there can be a waste of resources if a services capacity is not met or time and idle. It can lead to a decrease in the services standards as well. The wait and see strategy. The implications on manufacturing and service operations for this strategy is that a business will be spending small amounts of money to do only necessary upgrades that keep them in line with demand. This means they will not risk overexpanding and therefore wasting money that can be invested somewhere else. In manufacturing, it allows a business to not overproduce its products. For service operations, it means that there will not be an abundance of resources. However, there are some harmful implications. These being that if there is a huge unexpected demand, then the manufacturing services will not be able to keep up, and manufacturing can become motivated by competing companies to expand earlier and faster than need be. It can lead to manufacturing stages being idle for greater periods of time, and services do not have enough demand. It means there is a wasted use of resources. For services, it could lead to demand being greater than supply's capacity, which will mean longer waiting times and therefore unhappy customers. This can lead to services being rushed and not up to standard. Follow the leader strategy. The implications on manufacturing and service operations for the strategy is a business will be similar, spending smaller amounts of money on frequent basis to do only necessary or required upgrades. That keep them in line with their competitors as they do their upgrades. It also allows services to have better standards if they have a good demand to capacity ratio. However, this can lead to not enough expansion or overexpansion if businesses not actually meeting required demand or having excess capacity, which all has cost ramifications. Overexpansion can lead to permanent capacity decreases, like selling of equipment or staff reduction, which could lead to bottlenecks in production and services. There is no chance to get more of a market share. It is hard to achieve economies of scale as well.
Thanks for that, Mr. Worldwide. Wow, it looks like you're enjoying yourself over there. Anyway, that is all we have time for. I hope we all feel a little smarter. I know I certainly do. Also, big thanks to our guests for joining us today. I'm your host, Dr. Strange,